Hello, everybody. Welcome back to English Mini Talks. And if this is your first time listening to us, welcome. We're really glad you're here today.
Hi, dear listeners. It's great to have you with us, and we hope wherever you're listening from, you're having a good time.
Here on English Mini Talks, we talk about real problems that English learners face, and we try to explain them in a clear and honest way without making things complicated.
Yes, because learning English shouldn't feel heavy or stressful, and our goal is to help you understand what's happening so you can feel more relaxed and confident when you learn and use English.
Before we get started, don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to English Mini Talks because your support helps us continue creating practical content for learners like you.
Today we're going to talk about a technique that many learners have heard about, and some learners are already using it, but most people are not using it correctly, and that technique is called shadowing.
And if you don't really know what shadowing is, don't worry at all, because by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what it is, why it's powerful, and how to use it in a smart and effective way.
Before we explain shadowing, I think it's important to talk about the real problem first, because many learners practice English a lot, but they still feel that their speaking doesn't sound natural. For example, they may study grammar for years, memorize hundreds of words, and even understand movies or podcasts, but when they open their mouth, something feels off.
Yes, and a lot of learners tell us things like, I understand English when I listen, or I know the words, but when I speak, my English feels flat, slow, or robotic. This usually means their English sounds correct, but it doesn't sound alive. Native speakers don't just use correct words, they use music in their speech.
And the reason is not grammar or vocabulary, but the fact that they are missing things like rhythm, intonation, and flow. Rhythm is about which words are stressed, intonation is about how your voice goes up and down, and flow is how smoothly words connect to each other in real speech.
So basically, they know what to say, but they don't know how to say it naturally.
So let's clearly define shadowing. Shadowing means listening to someone speaking English and repeating what they say almost at the same time, like an echo. For example, if the speaker says, I didn't mean to do that, you don't wait until they finish completely. You start repeating it just a moment after they start speaking.
Some people call it imitation. Some people call it echoing, but the idea is the same. You are following another speaker's voice, rhythm, and melody. You're not just copying the words, you're copying how fast they speak, where they pause, and which words sound stronger or weaker.
And an important point here is that shadowing is not just about repeating words, it's about copying how the words are said. For instance, the sentence, "Are you serious?" can sound surprised, angry, or playful. Shadowing helps you feel and copy that difference.
Exactly. One big reason shadowing works so well is because it helps you develop intuition in English.
And by intuition, we mean understanding English not only with your brain, but also with your body and ears. This means your mouth starts moving naturally before you even think about grammar rules.
Exactly, because there are many things in English that you cannot fully explain with rules, like why something sounds right or wrong.
It's very similar to singing along with a song because you feel the rhythm and melody, even if you can't explain them. You don't stop a song to analyze grammar, you just follow it. Shadowing works in a very similar way.
So let's talk about what shadowing actually improves, because it's much more than pronunciation.
Yes, shadowing helps you with rhythm, intonation, melody, connected speech, listening skills, and confidence when speaking. Connected speech means things like want to becoming wanna, or words linking together so they sound different from how they look on paper.
And this is important because in real conversations, people don't just listen to your words, but they feel your tone and attitude.
Now let's talk about how to actually do shadowing. And let's start with the simplest way.
Yes, the first method is to just play an audio or video and repeat the speaker a split second after them, without pausing. You might miss some words at first, and that's completely normal. The goal here is flow, not perfection. This method is perfect when you're busy, like when you're driving, walking, or doing the dishes. And the good thing about this method is that you can practice English almost anywhere, which makes it very efficient.
The second method is for moments when you can really focus and sit down. In this method, you play one sentence, pause it, repeat it, and then move to the next part. And if you have the script, that's even better because you can see the words and notice details more clearly. For example, you might notice how the speaker drops a sound, stresses a word, or links two words together.
This method allows you to go deeper and pay attention to smaller details in speech.
Now, this part is extremely important. The biggest mistake learners make with shadowing is practicing without intention.
Let me explain. Shadowing is not about being a parrot and repeating sounds on autopilot. You need to decide what you are focusing on. For example, are you focusing on a specific sound, on the intonation, on stressed words, or on sentence endings? If you don't choose a focus, your brain treats the practice as background noise.
Ah, I see. This is because the brain ignores what you don't pay attention to, and you can't change something if you don't notice it first.
Exactly. For example, if you want to improve the difference between ship and sheep, you should listen carefully every time you hear that sound. You might even exaggerate it when you repeat it, so your mouth learns the correct movement.
And when you notice it, you're more likely to copy it correctly, and with repetition, your brain starts to change old habits.
Yes, another important tip is choosing a speaker whose voice you actually like.
Why is it important?
This is important because if you like their voice, you'll enjoy practicing more and you'll stay motivated. You can also slow down the audio, for example to 75% speed, so you can notice more details. Slowing down does not make your English worse, it actually helps you build accuracy first. And if possible, record yourself, listen to it later, and compare it with the original.
And one final reminder, you don't need to shadow a whole video. One short paragraph, repeated many times with focus, is much more powerful than one long video without attention. Quality beats quantity when it comes to shadowing.
So today we talked about what shadowing is, why it's powerful, how to do it correctly, and how to avoid the biggest mistakes.
Remember, shadowing is not about copying words. It's about training your ear, mouth, and brain together.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to English Mini Talks, and stay with us as we help you feel more confident in English.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.